Charlie! I know. I missed you too.
Let her enjoy the moment. She's been visiting your door every morning for the past 300 years.
Oh, it must have been so hard on her.
Not just her. I suppose that's why I might have been a little curt before.
A little?
You already made the ultimate sacrifice once. Maybe I'm in no rush to see you do it again.
We do not choose our destiny.
But we can choose to duck.
First lesson you ever taught me.
And still the most important. Especially now that you have all these eyes on you.
I have noticed.
To these people, you are a being of myth and legend. A grand hero of old. And they're right. You are a hero. But I also know the battle that rages within your soul. It's not enough that you are a hero. You need to decide what type of hero you will be. I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunity for that in the days to come. For now, I would head to the Forge. Our new guests are eager to show you something. This was a lot easier when it was just you and I beheading the Dark Legion as we traipsed through the woods.
Don't forget about Agatha.
I never could.
Now?
Think you can tell your friend inside there to turn it up a few hundred Kelvin?
I could. However, it might shatter the containment spell preventing him from incinerating this facility.
I think we're good. And just in time.
The Forge has certainly changed.
Right. Caretaker said this all happened after your siesta. What spooky castle would be complete without its own Babylonian demon-powered furnace?
Sumerian fire demon. His name is Babs.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Well, once you get past the esoteric terror of the situation, I've found this thing actually has some uses. Molecular bonding, breaking down evil gamma serums, fashion accessorizing.
Yes, speaking of...
Oh, right. It's ready.
Your armor seemed to offer minimal protection against the venom creature.
I noticed.
Yeah, I thought you could use an upgrade.
Well hammered, well fired. Caretaker did not mention that you two were such skilled smithies.
Yep. I am Iron Smithy.
Perhaps you should just try it on. Still think I could have used a cloak.
I hate to admit it, but somehow this ancient forge puts any arc reactor I've got to shame. Who would have thought mystically bound demon power would be so damn energy efficient? Or carbon neutral? Certainly got that new suit of yours done a lot faster than I expected. Speaking of, what's the verdict, boss?
It is nice having an armorer on demand.
Anytime. I tried to make this version a little less palatable to that symbiote thing. Was this close to making it menthol flavored. But tools are just one part of the equation. You gotta know how to use them too. You were out, what, 300 years before we woke you from your eternal rest? I'm betting you have questions, so ask away, Hunter.
You must have an interesting origin story of your own.
Well, just your typical American boy. Pops was a founding member of the military-industrial complex. Mom, a famous socialite. Tragedy struck when I lost them both in a car crash, which turned out to be a hit from a rival corporation. I spent my early teens at MIT, trying to clear my head, and was all set to follow in Dad's footsteps as a war profiteer. Then one day, fortune shined on me. in the form of some errant shrapnel that lodged itself just above my heart. So I did what anybody in that situation would do. I built a supersuit and started fighting crime.
You seem well-adjusted enough, considering.
Exactly, which means there's hope for you yet. I find these apocalypse scenarios will save you tons of therapy.
What sort of things are you doing in here?
Oh, that's right. You were out a while. Basically, we've got a gigantic demon inside the magic box here that provides near limitless power for whatever we might need. Sounds insane, but sometimes it's easier to just go with it.
Okay. So, why not magically create a way through that symbiote shield?
Have you ever known it to work that way? We can't just wish upon a star here. We need to know what we're making first and put together the right components. Otherwise, I'd have already whipped up Strange a new personality.
Seen anything strange around here?
What, other than my roommate? Boom! Roasted! But on a more serious note, this place is legitimately haunted. Mirrors look back at you. My room rearranges itself. And worst of all, magic cats.
Was it suspiciously elusive, even for a cat?
Actually, yes. Thought I was going crazy there for a second, but clearly I'm still firing on all cylinders. It just poofed in next to me out in the yard. Small, black, furry. Cute little thing. Probably some kind of shape-shifting monster knowing this place.
Is all this magic a threat to your new technology?
It might surprise some people to hear this, but I do like some things with rules. Isotope decay, magnetic fields, and gamma oscillation make a lot more sense to me than Eye of Newt, bat wings, and a sprinkle of sunshine. At least they did before everything changed.
Gamma seems to be a reoccurring theme these days.
Oh, you think I'm bad? You should ask Bruce. Actually, don't. He's been really sensitive since... You know what? Never mind.
I take it this new version is a technological marvel?
Impact-resistant carbon composites, some patent-pending alloy mesh, and a few touches from Dr. Spooky over there. And hey, the built-in communicator means we can talk to each other without sending a raven.
So it is a marvel, then?
Lightweight, nearly indestructible, and modular enough for future upgrades. Frankly, I wouldn't have used your old suit to wax the Mandarin's car.
Thanks for catching me up on things.
Anytime. Oh, and speaking of things, remember that creepy gamma goop you found from that hopped-up HYDRA soldier? Well, I gave it a peek, and it explains a lot. If you have a minute, meet me at the anvil over there, and I'll walk you through it. I promise it'll be worth your time. Now, I doubt advanced gamma thermodynamics was a hot topic at ye old demon hunting school, so I'm just gonna give you the condensed version.
I appreciate that.
Closest I've ever seen to this substance is pumping through Bruce's veins. Part gamma accelerant, part unknown element. Calling it coil for now, given its unique atomic structure. Man, I love acronyms. This stuff is more volatile than Nick Fury on a Monday morning. But HYDRA doesn't seem to mind.
They're using it to get stronger.
Exactly. A few drops would make your average salamander look like Fin Fang Foom. Thankfully, with a little help from Dr. Spooky and our haunted oven over here, I think two can play at this game.
You are not suggesting we start injecting ourselves with it?
No, nothing like that. Though I can see some future applications for my energy drink line. I was thinking we apply this stuff towards upgrading our equipment.
I like where this is going.
Just give me a little time here and I can whip up some pretty fun toys. How about we give HYDRA a taste of their own gamma-powered medicine for a change? Ooh, new coil. Let's get to work. This never gets old.
Hunter, your new attire suits you quite well. But how are you holding up on the inside? I know it's easy to look upon me and simply see the universe's utmost authority on all things mystical and macabre, Hunter. However, in addition to being Earth's sorcerer supreme, I am also your doctor.
You mean a physician of the medical arts? You jest.
I assure you, Hunter, I do not jest. They don't call me Mr. Strange, now do they? Except for Tony. Your awakening ritual was admittedly a touch more chaotic than I had originally intended, and, well, after your violent encounter with Venom, my oath to Hippocrates compels me to check in with you. simply put, how do you feel?
You lost much yesterday, Doctor. I am the one who should be asking you how you are feeling.
I appreciate that, Hunter. I admit I did not expect the child of Lilith to have the capacity for such empathy. And you're right, of course. I, for one, do not know if I will ever feel 100% again after the events of yesterday. I still can't believe what transpired. The Sanctum, all that knowledge, Wanda, lost. Swallowed whole by the black mouth of that foul venom creature. With all my resources, all my gifts, I should have seen this outcome spelled out in the sacred geometry of this universe years ago. But I miscalculated.
While we bask in the light of peace, our enemies conspire within our shadow.
You truly are your mother's child.
I would not know. I am simply paraphrasing Caretaker.
The point is understood either way. We must remain ever vigilant if we are to prevail. It's not just the Sanctum Sanctorum that was lost yesterday, it was my protege, Wanda. She is my charge, my responsibility, and I failed her. But I am determined not to let that happen with you, Hunter, which is why I am here to answer any questions you may have. Perhaps my wisdom may benefit you more than it has me thus far.
That creature on the roof. You have run into it before.
Unfortunately, yes. In the simplest of terms, Venom is an alien species living in symbiosis with a human known as Eddie Brock. He's something of a fixture in New York these days, but typically his hijinks are confined to harassing Spider-Man.
My mother has a gift for bringing out the worst in people.
Yes, and in this case, I happen to be the direct victim of her ambition. I fear the Sanctum may never be the same.
Tell me about your Sanctum's wards of protection. I have never heard of a protection spell that powerful.
In your time, I'm sure you've encountered a variety of minor wards and protective spells. The Sanctum Sanctorum was shielded by one such incantation, but greatly amplified by the convergence of ley lines.
And no one has ever broken the spell? Ever?
There's always a first for everything, but I had honestly never imagined a scenario in which the wards could be broken. Perhaps it was arrogance on my part, but Lilith is among the more cunning enemies we've ever faced.
How did Wanda come into your care?
Wanda's story is quite tragic, and perhaps not mine to tell. There was an accident on the Abbey grounds not long ago, involving Agatha.
I feel like everyone is avoiding mention of Agatha.
I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm afraid it's really not my place. You should speak to Sarah about her when you're ready.
Let us talk later.
Welcome to the Yard. At least that's what we're calling it these days. Caretaker put me in charge of your training. Too bad she didn't listen to me yesterday. Now that we know what we're up against, I think we can all use the practice. Any questions?
I did, but they are about you.
Right when it's time to train? From all Sarah told us about you, she never described you as lazy.
I learn faster if I understand the person who trains me.
I can respect that. Go ahead.
What brought you to the Abbey?
Caretaker. About 10 years ago, she brought me back to the real world. Gave me a place to stay until I came back to myself.
Did she ever say why?
She said she thought I'd be able to kill more vampires if I was acting on more than just instinct. But I know it was more than that. She gave me safe haven here at the Abbey. Something I'd never known. Must have read half the books in the library by the time I headed out. So when she reached out and asked me to be part of this weird little club, of course I showed up.
How long have you been around?
I don't exactly know. I think of myself as mid-20s maybe. I lost a lot of time. Much of the last century was a blur. I have occasional memories, almost like coming up for air before being yanked back down into the depths.
What happened?
I killed a lot of vampires. I hadn't lost my mind exactly, but I got into a rhythm and never stopped. Never had a reason to stop. Not until I met Caretaker.
And then?
She gave me a reason to stop.
How did you become a Dhampir?
You say that like I had a choice. I was born this way.
How is that possible?
A vampire bit my mother. Problem was, I was still in the womb. I'm lucky I was even born. Don't know if that's how it always is, but that's the way it went down for me.
Is your name really Blade?
Is your name really the Hunter?
Yes.
Oh, really? Your mom, before she became the mother of demons, looked into your cradle and decided to name her firstborn child the Hunter.
That is how I understand it.
It takes all kinds.
So, is your name really Blade?
No.
What is it?
It's private.
Is it embarrassing?
No, the Hunter, but I only share it with friends.
You do not consider me a friend?
Not yet. Don't take it personally.
Do you have any thoughts on the team as a whole?
I think we're the only ones aware of the danger Lilith poses to this world. And I think we're pretty green. But enough training will get us through it. Speaking of training, we doing this, or are we gonna keep wasting daylight?
Like the way you move out there, Hunter. Guess Doctor Strange picked the right supernatural demon hunter to resurrect. I'm Carol Danvers, but you can call me Captain Marvel. Kidding, Carol's fine. Just thought I'd throw a bone to the Avengers PR team. Not gonna lie, going a few rounds in Vampire Guy's Magic Thunderdome sounds like fun, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Well, not so much fish as that ginormous invulnerable sewer monster that swallowed the Sanctum.
In my day, we did not treat the end of the world so flippantly.
Yeah? Give yourself 3 or 4 more apocalypses, see where you land. Trust me, Hunter, I know the stakes. Wouldn't be here if I didn't. Strange, Caretaker, and the rest of the funky bunch can try and magic their way through that shield all they want. If my time as a pilot taught me one thing, it's that sometimes you've got to find a workaround. As in HYDRA. They've got to know the way inside. Steve's always said they aren't much for talking. But then again, I'm told I can be rather persuasive when I need to be.
Just how far are you willing to go, Captain?
Let's just say that I'm willing to unleash the power of a quantum singularity white hole on them if need be.
Quantum... what?
You'll see. Find me in the war room when you're finished here. There's a few things we should discuss. Oh, and Hunter? Welcome back from the dead.
The gamma signature is completely inverted. The daughter nuclei are being reabsorbed into the parent nuclei, which is impossible.
If the gamma signature from the Sanctum is really that unique, Bruce, then couldn't we just...
Sorry, still working out a few gremlins in the system.
Try sunlight, and whatever you do, avoid water.
Wait, you're being serious?
We should be able to track this new gamma signature to its source then, right? I'd do it myself, but we seem to be having a little IT trouble today.
Please. Old Central here is ready to grind through that data like chum.
What exactly is a central?
CENTRAL. Cognitive encryption, net transmogrification. We'll figure it out later.
Sending coordinates now. Hope your gremlins enjoy gamma spectroscopy.
Well, he's been a little moody lately, ever since, the problem with the big old green guy.
I heard that.
Banner can't turn into the Hulk? Not sure if we should be frightened or relieved.
That makes 2 of us.
Oh, hey. Come on. Happens to everyone. Well, okay, not everyone.
Nice work, Bruce.
I know that place. Creepy abandoned warehouse in the bad guy part of town.
My favorite kind. Anybody up for paying it a visit?
Definitely.
Aw, see that? Teamwork goosebumps.
Find me when you're ready.
Probably can scratch a band end off the description of this place. You seeing this, Bruce? Getting all sorts of weird down there.
Johann Fenhoff. That hack. I heard he was dead. Well, hoped is perhaps the more accurate description.
Calls himself Faustus now. Hydra's resident mad scientist.
Not just Hydra's. Lilith's. That's magic coming from those crates. I can feel it.
Yeah? How about gamma radiation? You feeling that too? Because that's some pretty evil-looking Hydra tech down there.
Gamma and magic.
I need you to use your science brain on this one, Bruce.
We need to approach this situation carefully. Combining those energies is an explosive proposition at best. Think scalpel, not hammer. Stealth, not strength.
Yeah, I don't do stealth.
Kill them. Go, now, quickly!
Let's go, go, go!
The perfect opportunity to field test Mother's device.
Watch out!
Get her!
For the record, Bruce, I did not smash that thing.
Noted, Carol. Perhaps you might direct all that energy towards your newfound adversaries instead. And the mysterious cargo they're attempting to escape with?
One more time.
Your fate is sealed.
HYDRA's in control of the situation.
Payback's gonna be fun.
I almost felt that one.
I am not myself.
They just don't know when to quit.
I stand with the Mother.
Preliminary analysis of the blast confirms high levels of gamma and various unknown energies.
Unknown to you. There is dark magic at work here. We must not let Hydra escape with it.
Take this.
That's one hell of a move.
What is this thing?
Bad guy crate. Full of bad guy stuff.
I know those symbols. From the time of the first hunt. That glyph means barrier. That one, almighty. Something, something. Gods and demons.
So a spooky bad guy crate.
Very spooky. Designed to contain powerful magic. Be careful.
Got it. Don't cross the streams.
Never do. How about we get this thing back to the Abbey and see for ourselves? Nice job out there, kid. I mean, I didn't get HYDRA bombed until my 10th run with the Avengers.
Kid, you do know that I'm a good 3 centuries older than you, right?
Then you've got a lot of catching up to do.
Okay, Abbey tournament tonight.
Sure about that? Last one got a little heated.
The eternal spirits of vengeance take technical fouls very seriously, especially in the fourth quarter.
Forget it. Tonight is movie night.
It is always movie night.
Exactly.
Wow, out of jail again? Who made this game? Wilson Fisk?
Well, if parking is free, clearly no one from Manhattan.
You know what they say? All work and no play is how we ended up with Ultron. Come on. You should hang out.
I should rest. Another time.
Good. You answered. Getting hard to keep finding ways to say open door around here. And despite what Robbie says, I don't think the staff of one speaks High Elven. Blood magic stuff. Cool room. Spacious. Aw, is that bed for Charlie?
Yes?
So, if you're planning on giving me some sort of brooding code of the stoic warrior speech, I'm immune. Just ask later magic. From what I just saw out there, whatever crazy ancient living weapons stuff Caretaker put you through back in the day did a real number on you. We got a lot of work to do.
Work?
Yeah, talking to people, making friends, basic human stuff. Or quasi-human. You're a Midnight Sun now. One of us.
Nico, I was just HYDRA bombed. I could use some rest.
You and me both. Been bad dreams every night for me lately. I, keep seeing Wanda. She... Never mind.
I will meet you outside.
Yes! I'll go nuke us some popcorn and you pick out a movie. Oh, and it may just be the two of us. The others went outside, needed to cool off. Really need to hang a fan over that forge. Or maybe crack open the casket of ancient wonders a little? I know this entire situation's gotta suck for you. Not just the whole resurrected, chosen one thing. I get why facing Lilith won't be easy. I was 15 when I found out my mother was capital E evil.
Sorry to hear you went through that.
It was bad, but I learned to deal with it. It's the only way forward, right? Look, I'm glad my mother is gone, but yeah, at times I just want to hear her voice again. Some days I'd give anything to make that happen. Makes me hate her even more.
I did not realize you carried such pain.
I just learned to bury it. You think I can afford a therapist on a superhero salary? I'm kidding. We don't get paid for this. Enough about our crappy parents. You missed out on decades of good movies. It's my solemn duty to fill this knowledge gap with the best examples I can provide. So, the first thing you need to know, the glowing briefcase is a metaphor. Can we do it again? So, what did you think of the movie?
I understood more than I should.
How? You've been dead for 3 centuries.
I'm not so sure I was dead. Not exactly. I recall a deep slumber, not the void. I dreamt.
Of what?
Of everything. Much of this world is familiar to me. I know it from my dreams.
That's not creepy at all. So, do you know everything?
No, think of it like this. I know what a car is, but I have no idea how to drive.
You're up to date, but not omniscient. Then I'm guessing you don't know much about me.
Just what you shared earlier.
You're always free to ask. Like, what's the Staff of One, or who were the Runaways?
Can you tell me how the Staff of One functions?
It's, blood magic, so my own blood is required to summon it. You wouldn't believe how many adhesive bandages I go through each year.
What about the words you speak?
They come true. Kind of, and not always the way I expect. It's like making a wish, but you can never make the same wish again.
I should get going.
Good timing. Looks like Caretaker wants to speak with you, and wow, I should get to bed. Time flies when you're hanging out.
Looks like you're finding your way around. Maybe making some new friends.
I was planning on getting some rest, but...
Things are moving at a frantic pace. For all we know, I'll be landing a jet on the roof with Mr. Stark this afternoon. Not quite like it was in the good old days.
I remember many sleepless nights and blood-soaked days. Always on the hunt.
I'll give you that. But there were times back then I wouldn't trade for anything. With both you and...
Agatha. Where is Agatha?
I am sorry. I should have had this talk with you much sooner. But you should know... Agatha... She's no longer with us.
What? That is impossible. She was so...
Fierce, indomitable, or maybe just kind to a fault.
Agatha's power... How could she be... gone?
She put her trust in the wrong person. Agatha died in an accident caused by her protege, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. The MidnightSuns' latest recruit, a powerful spellcaster in her own right. Perhaps the most powerful Agatha and I had ever seen. Wanda's abilities were growing. Too quickly for my liking. Agatha was determined to help her control them. I tried to caution her, but she would not listen. There was an incident. An accident, I'm sure, but...
Agatha was killed.
Yes, incinerated in an instant. Not even ash to remember her by. The others were heartbroken, as was I. But I also saw the danger, the threat, if Wanda's powers were left unchecked. So I did what needed to be done. I sent Wanda away, to the Sanctum Sanctorum, to study under Doctor Strange. I know the others still harbor a great deal of resentment towards me for it.
Wanda's powers were so out of control they cost a life. Your decision may have saved lives, if not the entire Abbey.
I like to believe that, especially given her current situation. Wanda, Agatha, it seems we have lost them both now. I conjured a small shrine to Agatha's memory on the grounds, hoping to find some solace, a way to move forward. You should pay your respects. Maybe you'll find what I couldn't. Good night, Hunter.
Agatha!
You always did have the most remarkable eyes, Hunter. Just like your mother's. Maybe that's why you're the first.
The first?
To commune with the spirits, of course.
Is this a trick of some kind? Because I am not amused.
No, it's no trick, dear. You're just the first to see me. By now you've heard I had a bit of trouble with my corporeal body. I actually find it quite liberating.
You are dead.
Always straight to the heart of things. That's my hunter.
You seem strangely at ease about this whole thing.
After 1,000 years of living, you learn to take things in stride. Even death.
And what have you been doing all this time?
Meet me by the cave just over there. You know the one.
The Bloodgate? Caretaker always told me to stay away from that place.
I think we can safely lift the veil on a few more of our secrets. What's the worst that can happen? This ominous-looking portal is known as a Bloodgate, and you're the only one among us who can pass through it.
Bloodgate? Caretaker's handiwork?
Yes, Sarah got a little overprotective after the accident with Wanda. It's become something of a habit for her.
I have noticed that.
What lies beyond is meant for you, as much as it ever was for her. Assuming you're up to the challenge, that is.
You know I am.
I do. But it's always polite to ask. Sarah was right to be wary of this place. But it's your birthright, and I think after everything you've been through, you can handle it now. The two of you, as well as your mother, are the last of your kind, the Blood. Your lineage follows an unbroken line to the old gods themselves. And if you call upon them, you might just find they're actually listening. They won't work miracles for you, but their blessings can be quite useful in the right circumstance. Why don't you ask the goddess Ashtur for her aid in dealing with that barrier over there? After all this time, it's still just as beautiful as the first time I laid eyes on it. It's hard to believe Lilith and Caretaker brought this place all the way from Transia. Of course, it was no coincidence that they wound up so close to Salem. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here. And why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. And now I'm rambling on like an old sorcerer supreme. Why don't you come see me in the library tomorrow night? Oh, and let's keep this just between the two of us for now. I'm afraid Sarah, Caretaker, isn't ready to see me yet. Good night, Hunter.